Hello, geometry students. It's Mrs. Abelgarth. Today we're going to be talking about Chapter 4, Section 5, Isosceles and Equilateral Triangles. Just in case you don't remember, isosceles triangles have two equal sides. And equilateral have all three sides the same. Okay. So there are two theorems. First of all, the base angles theorem. And it says if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite them are also congruent. So I wanted to, of course, draw you a picture because a picture's worth 1,000 words. So if two sides of the triangles are congruent, so this is an isosceles triangle, the sides are congruent, then the angles opposite of them, boop, 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 this one, and then this one, then these two angles are also congruent. Converse of the base angles theorem, so we're going to reverse it out. If two angles of a triangle are congruent, then the sides opposite the angles are congruent. And then this is one of my favorites. It's just all time. If a triangle is equilateral, and let me give you the definition of equilateral. Equilateral means all three sides, all three sides are congruent. And then equiangular, all angles are congruent. Equilateral, all sides are congruent. If you take the 3, it applies to all the shapes. Ooh, the bell rang. Okay, so if a triangle is equilateral, then it is also equiangular. So if all the sides are congruent, then all the angles are congruent. And conversely, if a triangle is equiangular, then it is equilateral. So let me show you what that means. Equilateral, so if all three sides are the same, then you know all angles are also the same. And conversely, if you're given that all the angles are congruent, then you can say, oh, yep, all the sides are also congruent. We're going to use that property for this example. Find the values of x and y. Crazy, crazy thing. So I'm just going to use x's and y's, and then we'll fill in the blanks. So if this little corner is x, then I know, because if we have if two sides, it's the two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite them are also congruent. So this guy is equal to x. This guy is also going to be equal to x. And then this angle right here is equal to whatever 180 minus x is going to be. Because this is a straight line, and a straight line is always equal to 180, so we subtract x from 180, and that is our missing angle. That's going to go right here. Okay, so let's find some real numbers. I'm going to give you another property. We used this last week in our notes. This is called the Triangle Sum Theorem. let me spell triangle correctly for y'all. How about that? Triangle Sum Theorem says all angles in a triangle add up to 180. Here's the tricky thing about geometry. Some of these properties come back over and over again. Like triangle sum, we are going to beat that guy all the way into the ground forever and ever. The vertical angles is also something that comes up over and over again. And when we get to it, Pythagorean theorem is also something that'll come up. So let me show you how that applies to our little figure here. If this is an equilateral triangle here, all three sides are congruent, then we know all three angles are also congruent. So those three angles are going to add up to 180. So that I add my three x's together and I get 3x, and I solve for x and I get x is equal to 60 degrees. And in fact, all equilateral triangles, the angle is going to be 60 degrees. All equilateral triangles, the angle is going to be 60 degrees. Okay, so now that we have x is equal to 60, we can find this little missing guy right here. So I'm going to redraw this triangle because sometimes when we get too many triangles in a room, it gets crazy. So this little guy here is 180 minus 60. Oh, I know what that is. That is 120. And this guy is equal to y, and this guy is equal to y. Because we have a isosceles triangle where, and it says if the two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite are also congruent. So we know that this is y and this is y. And then this apex angle is 120 because it is 180 minus our x value. I'm going to circle x because it did ask us to find that. All right, so we're going to put together one more little equation with this using the triangle sum theorem. We're going to say that 120 plus y equals 180. All the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So that's 120 plus 2y's equals 180. We're going to subtract 120 from both sides. I'm going to actually move. Let's move this over here. So we're going to minus 120 from both sides. And we get 2y equals 60. Divide both sides by 2. And y is equal to 30 degrees. Boom, boom. All right, fun, fun. Okay, let's look at example 2. We're also going to find the values of x and y. We have this triangle here is an equilateral triangle, so we know that all of its angles are going to be 60 degrees. If you don't believe me, you can redo the math that we did up here. It is right here. All the angles in an equilateral triangle are going to be 60 degrees. So we're going to look at, oh, what? Look at this guy. He's equal to 90 degrees. So our missing angle right here is going to be 90 minus 60. So this guy is going to be 30 degrees. Now we're going to look at this triangle here. It's the same as this one here. X is in this corner. Y is in this corner. This side is congruent to this side. So we know that our two base angles, this guy and this guy, are going to be congruent. So we can say x is equal to 30. And we're going to do a little math equation. We're going to say 30 plus 30 plus our y value is equal to 180. So So that's the triangle sum theorem again. So 30, 30, and y adds up to 180. We're going to add the 30s together. And we're going to subtract 60 from both sides. So we know that y is equal to 120 degrees. What? So x is equal to 30, y is equal to 120. All right, you guys are going to take a moment, finish the 4.5 notes and practice, and you are done with the notes and practice for the week. Thank you guys for hanging. Have a good day.